Hey guys, welcome to Cooking with Paul. It's been a while since I've done a video, so I've been kind of excited to think of something to do and something creative that I haven't done in the hotel before. And tonight I'm going to try something definitely different. I'm going to make vegetable soup in my electric skillet using hamburger, some dehydrated vegetables that I got, some beans, mushrooms, spices. I think it's going to be really good and it's going to be really fun. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, before I start, I want to walk you through a little bit of why I say it's an experiment. Here in the hotel, I don't have everything that I necessarily need to cook vegetable soup the way I would at home. First off, I'm using an electric skillet instead of a stovetop. I don't have all the same vegetables, tomato juice, etc. So I'm going to take the ingredients that I have and turn them into something as close as possible to the vegetable soup that I make at home with my mom here in the hotel. Now at home I normally make a really big batch, and I would use 5 to 6 pounds of meat. And for 5 to 6 pounds of meat, I would have probably around 16 to 20 cups of liquid. That's a combination between beef broth and water. And then I would also have 2 to 4 cups of tomato juice. Now I'm going by memory for all this, so might not be exactly correct, but given that I'm going to make mine in an electric skillet with 1 pound of meat, then I need to take those roughly 24 cups of water and divide them by 5. Now I'm just going to round up to 25, so that gives me at least 5 cups of liquid that I need to put into my soup. On top of that, I'm going to be using dehydrated vegetables, which are going to absorb water, so I'm going to need to add a little bit of extra liquid on top of that. For my liquid, I have a combination here of beef broth, water, and clamato, which is a version of tomato juice, as well as I have a can of beans that is ranch style beans. And ranch style beans are pinto beans, which I want to put into my vegetable soup, but they also have a little bit of tomato paste and stuff in them. So I'm going to have to be careful how much tomato juice I add with the beans, and to be honest, I've never used these beans before, so we're going to see what they look like when I open them up. But I normally add tomatoes to my vegetable soup at home also, so I'll figure it out as I go. Next, I want to show you the ingredients that I have here to give you an idea of what I'm working with. Okay, you can see my ingredients. I'm going to be working with 500 grams of meat, which is a little over a pound. I've got some crushed red pepper I want to use for seasoning. I've got me some mushrooms that I'm going to put into my soup. My beef broth. I also have some bone broth, which I'm going to use. A combination of that and water. Pepper, Himalayan salt. These are the ranch style beans that I talked about. These are my dehydrated vegetables. I'm really excited to try these and see how well they work out. You can see here that they have a combination of carrots, onions, tomatoes, peas, celery, green bell peppers, green beans, and parsley. That's very close to what I normally use at home for the vegetables that I use at home. So I'm excited to see how well this works out. And you can see it says 1 part mixed to 6 parts water, simmer for 10 minutes, season to taste. So I will measure out how many vegetables I'm going to put in it. I want to put a lot of vegetables in it. I want that good vegetable flavor in my soup. So I'm excited to try those and see how it works out. Then you can see the electric skillet that I'll be working with. It's not real big, but it should hold enough of the liquid that I need to get my soup together. Alright, of course the first step is I have to get the meat ready. So I'm going to start by browning my hamburger. I'll do the best to make sure that I get it into small pieces as well as possible. I bought pretty lean meat, so I really shouldn't have to worry about too much fat. And unless there's a lot of fat, I won't even drain this. I'll just brown it and leave what little fat's in there for flavoring. Nothing too exciting about this step, so I'll continue to brown the meat, and I'll get back to you when we're ready for the next step. Okay, my meat is done and ready to go, and good news, there's almost no fat in it, so I don't even have to drain the fat off. It's ready for the next step, and what I want to do is I want to start working through the things that I don't know exactly what they're going to turn out to be so that I can adjust as I go if I need to, which is what my mom does every time she cooks, and I know she'll be watching this, so that was for you. So I'm going to start first with the vegetables. The box said that a 1/4 cup of vegetables is 1 serving, and if I recall correctly, when I bought them on the internet, it said that a 1/4 cup would turn into 1 cup when they're hydrated. The box also said 1 part vegetables to 6 parts water, so I put a little black mark on here so that I know how high to fill with water so that I can add the 6 parts water. I will not count that liquid towards the base of my soup because that's going to be just to rehydrate the vegetables. I want a lot of vegetables, so I'm assuming this is a little over a cup, and I'm expecting that when hydrated I'll get somewhere between 4 and 5 cups of vegetables. The second thing that I need to work through, and by the way, these smell great. You can smell the vegetables. I think they're going to be really good. I can smell the celery, which is really important. It's going to be good. The second thing that I want to work through are the ranch style beans. I've never used them before, and I know that they have tomato in them, and I want to see how tomatoey they are so that I know how much tomato juice to add later to adjust the flavor. So I'm going to start working through that and let you watch as I go. Okay, I've got my heat turned down while I do the vegetables here. I'm going to go ahead and get them added. I'm going to mix them before I add the liquid just a little bit to get them all the way stirred around. Now I'll start adding the liquid. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add my ranch style beans to this to see how tomatoey they are. And one of the things that I wanted everybody to see is, why do I say that this is always an adventure cooking here in the hotel? Well, one of the things that I want you to be able to see is I have to use a can opener to open my cans. Some cans actually come with the pull tabs, but some do not. So I've known how to do this quite a while because I camp, but it's just something that adds a little bit of time as you go. You have to make sure that you catch the ledge of the can and that you break through it. You don't want to lose it, leave any little tabs here. But you can see it's not that bad. You get used to it. You learn how to do it. It just takes a little extra time. That should be good enough. Let's open these up and see what they look like. Looks like I missed a spot. What I can see so far is that they appear to be pretty red, so there's probably a fair amount of tomato in them. So let's get that added in. These also have jalapenos in them, which I think will give the soup a real good flavor. And adding those, it doesn't look like there's really that much tomato in them. So I am not really going to take that into account when adding my tomato juice. It looks like it'll be pretty insignificant. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn up the heat. I'm going to let this simmer a little bit and let those vegetables start to rehydrate. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. My vegetables have been simmering, and to be honest with you, they look pretty good. If you look at this, the peas, the carrots, the tomatoes, they've all rehydrated well. Now, one thing that I noticed is that the box of the vegetables said if you were rehydrating these for soup to do 1 part vegetables to 6 parts water. And as you can see, obviously the vegetables did not absorb all the water. So my current plan is I'm not going to add any more water to this because I want to get good flavors of beef broth and I want to get good flavors of the tomato juice. Now I have tasted this, and I will again here. And it does have good flavor from it. It has some beef flavor from the hamburger, and it also has all the vegetable flavor. Now what I'm going to add is some of this boned beef broth concentrate that I get off of the internet. That's really healthy. And what that will do is that will turn 2 of the cups of water that are in there into beef broth, which I want. So I'm going to start by adding those and let those dissolve. And I'm also going to add the 2 cans of beef broth. Now this should give me a really good beefy flavor as a base for the soup. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add the tomato juice. And I want that to simmer in there for a while and get that flavor all the way through. And I'm going to add 2 cans of that because I want good tomatoey flavor in my soup. Now you can see my skillet is pretty full and it's starting to look like a soup. Now the last thing that I'm going to add besides seasonings are the mushrooms. I'm not going to bother cutting them up because it's really a lot of work here in the hotel to do that. And I'm going to clean up as I go. So now I'm going to let this all come together and I'm going to start figuring out how much salt, pepper, and spices do I want to add. So I'm going to let this cook for a little while and I'll come back. Okay, as you can see, the soup is finally starting to come to a light simmer. I want to let it cook for a while and simmer to let all those flavors mix together. I didn't show it on video, but I added the black pepper, salt, and crushed red pepper. I didn't show it on video because I just did it to my taste, and you can do it to your taste if you make soup, this soup at home. So just add as much salt or as little as you like, pepper, and if you want to leave the crushed red pepper out, you can. I prefer to have it in there. We're going to let this cook. It looks great. You can see all the flavor in there from the vegetables, the tomato juice, the beef broth. It all just looks really good. Turning out even better than I thought it might. So I'm anxious to try it, but we need to let it cook for a while so all those flavors can mellow together. Okay, 2 things have happened. I added more vegetables. As I was looking at it, I really felt like it needed more vegetables. So essentially I doubled the vegetables from what you saw in the earlier part of the video. I did not add more liquid to compensate for that. The soup has cooked down and it is right at about the right consistency, so we're really close to being able to eat. I want to show you what it looks like, and then we'll serve it up and try it. Okay, you can see the soup. You can see all those great vegetables that are in it. You can see that it's just the right consistency to be a really hearty soup. It's not too brothy, it's not too dry. It's got all of these great vegetables in it that are really healthy. It's got the beef broth, the tomato, the hamburger. Everything is going to be perfect. So I'll serve this up and you can see what it tastes like when I try it. All right, I couldn't be more excited to try this, and I want to show it to you here again. It's a little bit hard here with the camera, but you can see this is really a good hearty soup. This is really pretty close to the consistency of a chili, and it's perfect for what I wanted. There we go. Wow, this is so good. I could not be more happy with how this turned out. It's the perfect consistency. The beef broth and the tomato juice, they both come through with a really good flavor. All of these vegetables turned out perfect. And the key to a really good vegetable soup is it's got a lot of meat in it. The 1 pound meat for the size that I made is perfect. So thank you for watching this. I'm super excited. I can't wait to eat this, and God bless.
That's the only way I know. Don't stop till everything's gone. Straight ahead, never turn around. Don't back up, don't back down. A full throttle, wide open. You get tired and you don't show it. Dig a little deeper when you think you can't dig no more. That's the only way I know.